Hey, what's up, y'all? This is all day and day one on the PS4, and I'm gonna be giving you a Deadpool build breakdown. Alright, so look at his traits first. So maximum effort on the left side, he gains 4% more damage from durability or fighting. So those are his two main attributes. He gets an automatic 5% brutal strike chance. In the middle box, awesome. Primary resource is called awesome. All powers are free to use, and effects that increase your maximum spirit instead increase your awesome level. Base damage is increased by 5% of your awesome level. Current bonus is 7.8%. Base health is also increased by 10% of your awesome. Current bonus 15.5%. So awesome is something you definitely want to stack up as much as possible. So on the right box, plot armor, health gained 210 per second. This effect is tripled for 4 seconds when you fall below 35% or max health once every 10 seconds. The defense rating and dodge rating multiplier are both at 20%, and defense rating and dodge rating is an automatic 600 by its base. Close quarters, when you hit with a melee power, damage reduction is increased by 8% for 3 seconds. So on to the build. Body slide by 1 is one of my dashes. I put that on L2 circle. Hulk hand arrow, I put that on circle. Bang boom pow, I put that on square. Canadian Devil, that's my primary ability. I put that on X. Superior healing factor, I put that on L2 triangle. Server lag, I put that on L2X. Cutting room floor, I put that on triangle. And awesome lunge of death, I put that on square. So the reason why I have two dash abilities is because that way I can just dash as much as I'd like. I technically have 6 charges for dashing, and they both remove you from crowd control effects. This one does damage though, which is nice, and it does bleeding, so it'll do damage over time. This one doesn't do any damage, but you can teleport, and what's nice about teleporting is you can teleport through objects. Hulk hand arrow, the damage or the brutal strike chance and brutal damage is increased by depending on how high your awesome level is. So for me right now, my brutal strike chance rating is only increased by 1.5%, and brutal strike damage is increased by 4.7%. It's also a nice, it's a small little AoE as well. It doesn't do big AoE, but it's a nice chunk. Bang boom pow is a nice, probably your one of your best abilities to have. It does 100% crit chance, 8-second cooldown, 18,000 to 27,000 damage, and it has a it already has a decent AoE, but with the talent, it increases its AoE by 50%, which is even better. Canadian Devil, it's melee damage and range damage and grenade damage. So, if you have, I guess, your synergies, you don't have many ranged synergies, this is still gonna come in handy for you. Even if you mix both your range and your melee synergies, this will help you out a lot. Um, what it does is like a whirlwind of bullets. Basically, you just spin around, you're doing a whirlwind and shooting bullets everywhere. So it's nice, and you move pretty fast with it too. Superior healing factor, cooldown isn't too bad, 15 seconds. You gain in total 60% health, max health, because you get 20% per second, and it's a 3-second duration. Um, so yeah, I use it as much as often. Server lag, I I feel like this is probably one of the best signatures in my opinion. It doesn't do like crazy damage or anything, but what's nice about it, well, you do get a 50% damage bonus, which is nice. But what's nice about it is it freezes all your enemies in place, and you have 3 different talents. We'll go over those later.
You really don't want me deciding what to shoot next.
But Yeah, no, the server lag is definitely a very useful signature to have because it it just keeps enemies in place. Even bought the bosses. Like when I was doing cosmic trials, I was able to keep Mandarin in one spot, and it just helped me so much better. So yeah, cutting room floor. What was this one? Oh yeah, okay. So this one is a melee ability, but when you hit, you don't take any damage as well. It does 10 hits on a single target though. I don't think it hits multiple. If it does, then that's even better, but I'm pretty sure it's just single target. Or maybe it's just anyone within its AoE. You target a single target, but I'm pretty sure you can hit anyone within the AoE of it. Um, Next, we're gonna go over the talents. So I'm not sure what the first one was is about necessarily. This one obviously increases your orb pickup by 300% and healing from all sources is increased by 20%. I'm just wondering if that 50% chance on hit to spawn a chimichanga orb. Changing nothing but no. So I think with the healing from all sources, that may actually be good to have with your med kits and your healing superior healing factor. Mm, Maybe not. I mean, obviously it will be. But with this, when you hit with a boss or mini boss, hack the game into thinking you are one. Um, I guess you increase your damage by 30%, 10,500 more health, and your max awesome increased by 300. And duration is 10 seconds. Cooldown 1 minute. I think it only happens when well it says when you hit a boss or mini boss. So like when you fight Mandarin or Red Skull in the trials, I think you gain all these buffs, but it's only for 10 seconds, and then it's a 1 minute cooldown. So gain a stagger meter, which increments at whenever you defeat an enemy. This one, it's nice to have, but you have to be able to kill your enemies quick in order to actually make use of it. I mean, it's not a bad talent to have though, but I wouldn't choose it over one of these other two. The one I went with Devilish Explosions. Slam Jam now creates an explosion on impact. Canadian Devil now randomly throws grenades. So you don't need to worry about Slam Jam. Canadian Devil being able to throw grenades helps you a ton more. You'll be able to. I don't. I feel. I don't know how often it procs, but it seems like it procs pretty often. I'd say like 60-70% of the time. Uh, you'd see grenades, maybe even like 8 out of 10 times you'd see grenades thrown out. No, not 8 out of 10. That's too much. I'd say like 6 out of 10 times you'd see the grenade pop and proc. Hulk hand arrow is a nice one to have as well, especially since you're gonna have this ability, and the damage over time isn't bad either, as well as getting that 50% damage bonus increase. This is a really good one to have too. So if you don't feel like you really need this, you can go for this one. You don't necessarily need It's Exploding Me. Um, the cooldown gets increased by 2 seconds, so that's why I didn't go with this because I don't like having a long cooldown on my abilities. I like having shorter ones because that way I can dish out a little bit more damage. For your talents on your signature, all three of these are really good to have. Power-ups, I really enjoyed having power-ups because you gain a nice movement speed, you gain health regain, and damage reduction, and crit chance, crit damage. You gain so much. Um, but for the Cosmic Trials, I just went with multiplayer because you spawn 3 other Deadpools, and they also do damage for 10 seconds. So that one was really nice to have. God mode, I'm not sure how God mode would work in Trials. I don't know if you die in Trials with this active, then you come back to life, and I don't know if that'll count as a loss or not, because whenever you use an artifact that can bring you back to life or a catalyst that can bring you back to life, that'll still count as a fail. So that's why I wasn't sure about God mode. I mean, God mode would still be a good one to have if you're doing like patrols or operations. So all three of these are viable, but I just don't know if this would be useful in trials. The next talent I went with was Bazooka for obvious reasons because, well, one, I'm not using any of the other abilities on the other talents, but two, you gain 50% damage bonus, 50% crit chance bonus, and 50% power radius. So the AoE gets increased, the crit chance is increased, and its base damage is increased. So you definitely want to have Bazooka. Dizzying Dance is what I went with. I didn't go with the other two because one, I'm not using any of the abilities on the other two, and two, well, I have Lunge of Death, Deal Weekend, Lunge of Death, shared blade. Yeah, no. So I mean, this is not a bad one, but either way, you'd want to go with Dizzying Dance just because you gain deflect chance, dodge chance, and movement speed all by 10%. So that's why, I mean, you definitely want to have this just so you can move a lot quicker, especially when you're just holding on to the X and you're in the red zone. You can just be able to get out of there without really wasting a dash. So that's why I love like having the Dizzying Dance talent. So for the synergies, I went with, well, I feel like I should put Beast on instead of Thor. Yeah, I'll do that. So I'll go in order of what I like, what I think is good, and what I think shouldn't be used. So Angela's is good for the cooldown. Ant-Man, no. Beast, yes. Black Panther, I would definitely say yes because of the movement speed and melee. Black Widow, yes, because of both. Blade, yes. Captain America, eh. Captain Marvel, no. Colossus, maybe. Just the health. Cyclops, um, probably not. Daredevil, yes. Deadpool, yes. Doctor Strange, no. Gambit, um, no. Ghost Rider, no. Hawkeye, yes. Hulk, yes. Iceman, no. Iron Fist, yes for the health regen, but no for the hand to hand. Iron Man, yes for the range. Jean Grey, yes for the range. Kitty Pryde, maybe, because you both of those are your stat, your defensive stats. Luke Cage, maybe, yeah, for the durability. Magic, yeah, for the health on hit and the summon damage if you're using your signature with multiplayer. Moon Knight, not so much. Nova, yeah, for the movement speed and the dodge, I guess. Psylocke, melee, yes. Punisher, definitely yes, because you have gun and ranged. Rocket, sure. Scarlet Witch, sure. She-Hulk, yes. Spider-Man, yeah. Squirrel Girl, yes. Star-Lord, yes. Storm, no. Thor, maybe. Probably not, though. It wouldn't be my first choice if I had an open slot. Yeah, War Machine, yes, and Wolverine, no. So for my infinity points, I put 2 points into fighting, and then I put the rest into strike through. What you can do if you don't want to put any points in your attributes, or if you have less than 25 points, you can either go to strike through, temporal loophole, or I would go with restoration. So one of those three. Probably temporal loophole just because you gain the movement speed and attack speed, which is going to be a lot better for the Canadian Devils. Just because you're going to be moving, that's your movement ability, movement power, and I'm pretty sure attack speed would affect it too. What does affect channeling abilities. So onto my gear. So I'm wearing all purples and one cosmic. So just gonna look at all these gears if you'd like. You can pause it whenever if you want to just look at the stats. Oh yeah, one blue item. And yeah, whatever.
Ooh, pick me,
so
pick me.
the medallion, my medallion is not what I wanted it to be. 2% chance when you hit with a bleeding power to refresh cooldown of your claw powers. This effect cannot occur more than once every 30 seconds. You don't need that. I just picked it because of the crit hit. A good one to have for him, definitely Doctor Doom's. The Juggernauts is probably the best option, just because the Canadian Devil, you're gonna be moving around with that, and with Juggernaut's medallion, whenever you're moving, you gain, I believe, like 10%, 10%, not 10%, 100 movement power damage, and it stacks up to 1,000 movement power damage. So that one would definitely be the best option in my opinion for Deadpool, for the Canadian Devil. For my catalyst, I only have one good thing on here, which is regenerate 25% of your health up to 3,100 awesome when you use your medkit. That's one of the things, one of your catalyst talents you want to have. For your mutation bonus, you want to have the when you use a medkit, you gain 5,000 health back. And if you're using a cosmic catalyst, the one you want to have is whenever you use a medkit, you gain 50%. I think I have one. Yeah, gain a damage shield equal to 50% of your max health when you use your medkit. So that's a really good one to have. Relic of Gibberim, I would choose this over anything else, just because the more awesome you have, the more health and more damage output you would put. So you want to get as much awesome as possible. Recalibrated Shield is what I went with. Advanced Crimson Crystal Sidorak and Dangerous AI chip, just for the Cosmic Trials. I'm not going to be using these when I'm farming, but for Cosmic Trials I needed some type of shield, so I had Advanced Crimson Crystal of Sidorak, which gives me a 2% chance when I hit to give me a 6320 damage shield that can absorb 6320 damage. And then Recalibrated Shield Protection Sphere. When my health drops below 30%, I gain a shield that absorbs 6,000 damage, 30-second cooldown. Danger's AI chip, I'll probably be using this one actually for my patrols and operations farming, just because one, it gives me +1 fighting, or it gives me fighting in general, and it gives me signature power damage, and which probably affects for my my summons. When you take damage, gain 1,000 damage defense rating for 5 seconds, so that's not bad either. So my damage reduction increases for 5 seconds. When your health drops below 30%, gain 75 health regen per second for 5 seconds. So I mean, yeah, 75 health regen is it's still really low, but I mean, it's whatever. Yeah. So the artifacts that I would definitely go for Deadpool would probably, I feel like Rhinos would be a good one to go for. Rhinos artifact, which you can get from super heroic. I don't think you can get it from heroic or normal, but I know for a fact you can get it from super heroic and cosmic. We're just farming him in either the patrol or his villain showdown. So that one would be, I think it would be a good one. I don't know if it gives plus. Forgot. Let me see. Hulk has one.
Now I'll show him. I'll show them all.
So it gives, while you're moving, gain 3 strength for 3 seconds. I mean, it won't be bad because you gain brutal strike and anger, but you don't necessarily need the strength. So Ziggurat of Cargill would also be a really good one to have. When you use a movement power, increase your movement speed by 20% for 5 seconds, 5-second cooldown. Critical damage, critical hit, and brute strike. So that would be a really good one to have for Deadpool as well. Let's see, where's Deadpool?
Please tell me you're not one of those noobs I hear.
Hand of Doom and the Cursed Gem are both, well, I mean, those two are definitely the ones you would want on any character, but I would definitely say if you're, those two, yeah, just those two are definitely the best ones in my opinion. Gem of Curse, or Curse Gem, and Hand of Doom. Also, the Vibro Smashers, I believe, are pretty good. I have those as well. I would have to, what's it called? Use the Matrix. I'd have to unbind it, but I don't have any more unbinding material. But you gain +4 durability, which is one of his main attributes. You gain force power damage. I don't know what that does. Brutal damage rating 539, and when you hit with a power to knock your target down, 17% chance. So that's a good one to have. And the 9 heads is also pretty good as well. When you land a critical hit, you and your allies gain attack speed for 6 seconds. 1% attack speed, so it stacks up to nine times. So it's not a bad one to have either. But yeah. So we're gonna just go ahead and preview the ability. So this is the Canadian Devils. Just can roam around. Pretty nice damage.
Ooh, what's this?
And then this is the Boom Pow, whatever, the bazooka. Does nice damage. And then you have the Hulk Hand. It does nice AoE. Pretty quick cooldown as well. It's 4 seconds. And then you have the slicing ability. So it does hit multiple targets. That's nice. And then you have this one, which supposedly does bleed, but I didn't see bleed happen. Weird. And then you have your signature.
I'm the king of the world!
And then your healing factor. Obviously, you won't see the healing factor taking effect. And then, yeah. So what I normally do, I would just roam around like this.
Hey,
shoot
I'm
my
good,
bazooka,
but even
shoot
I
the
can't
Hulk
do that.
hand, and then just start spamming that. Dash through again, and then just go around. Bazooka, hand, and then slice. Go through, and then use your signature whenever you have it. And yeah. So that's basically all I do with my Deadpool build. You know, if this video helps you out at all, go ahead and let me know. Leave a like, comment. If you have any build suggestions or any characters that you would like to see that you want to build for, let me know. Right now, I only have 242 splinters, and these are the characters I have available. So I have Iron Man next, Thor, Psylocke, Squirrel Girl, Doctor Strange, Beast, Angela, Cap, Black Widow, Iron Fist, Daredevil, Nova, Star-Lord, War Machine, and Wolverine next. Those are the characters I have that I am going to be working on. Right now, I'm probably going to do either Strange, Psylocke, Iron Man, Squirrel Girl, or Angela. I'm not sure. I'm probably going to do Doctor Strange next, or Iron Man, since Iron Man is right there. But yeah, I'll be doing them next, and hopefully that video should be up, or they should be level 60, and then the cosmic video should be up about sometime next week. But yeah, if this helped you at all, let me know. And yep, peace. This is All Day Any Day One. Have a good day, good night, and yeah.